Is it working? Perfect. I hope you had a great break and you are fresh back in the room for the next session. We will have a conversation on stage with Sonepar and with EPAM talking about a vendor selection process for a CMS. And please welcome on stage together with me Nicolas Gutron from EPAM. From Sonepar, sorry for the mistake, and he is responsible for the CMS and the selection process, as well as for the ongoing process and the development of a corporate CMS project structure. And before he joined Sonepar, he was working in many other companies and had already experiences with CMSs. So it's a very exciting moment also to hear his views about content management in general, CoreMedia, other options in the market. And that's why, welcome on stage, Nicolas. And there is another player. So, as we said, a good project is not only technology and the client, we also need people that implement the solution. We have here, again on stage, Sébastien from EPAM. Thank you very much for coming. So the entire conversation for this session is how a transformation of Sonepar's corporate CMS could happen. But starting with that, who is Sonepar?
Yeah, thanks, Uwe. That's a good question. Hello, everybody. That's actually a question I asked myself when I joined Sonepar. And I will say a couple of words about Sonepar, but first let me show you this video. Thank you. So that was a quick introduction. I will just add a few facts and figures. So first, we are the worldwide leader in the distribution of for business to business of electrical products worldwide. So we have 33 billion euros of sales. We are a family-owned company, which in some cases makes a big difference with listed companies. And we're a multi-brand, also 55 years old company, and yeah, multi-brands. So that's in a nutshell with Sonepar.
Nicolas, one question. How could that be that a company of this size, of this importance, is so relatively unknown?
Yeah, sure. First is because there was little brand awareness. That was not really the strategy before some point in time in the history. And actually, back in 2019, the Sonepar brand represented 20% of our revenue. Because as you can see, you've got 80, I mean, we used to have 150 brands actually back then. Now it's 80. And so the Sonepar brand was not necessarily the most known brand in every country where we operate. Second reason, we are not listed, so there's no financial reporting obligation, which also means less media coverage by essence. And finally, I would say we had a kind of a weak web presence, which was definitely not aligned with the size of our company, and that's something we needed to work on.
Yeah, what has changed in the last years? So because now we see an increasing brand awareness, we're seeing also Sonepar making more advertisement. So what was the reason behind? Or what changed?
So we're still a family-owned company, so that didn't change, and that's hopefully will never change. First, what has changed? Growth. As we saw in the video, we grew from 80 billion to 33 billion in a couple of years. We streamlined our number of brands worldwide from 150 down to 80. And so naturally, the result is that now 40% of our revenue comes from the Sonepar brand. So it's growing. Then second reason is transparency. Obviously, secrecy drives suspicion at some point, especially nowadays. It was okay like decades ago, but now it doesn't work anymore. However, awareness drives business opportunities. It increases talent acquisition and also potential for acquisition of other companies. Because we are the worldwide leader with 10% of market share. So there's room for consolidation here. And one example of that transparency that since 2022, we release every year a corporate social responsibility report, so which is not mandatory for us, but then we decided to do it. And we have more presence on social media as well. So little we started to raise our brand awareness and add transparency to what we do. And finally, purpose. We needed a purpose, like for our associates or our employees to have a sense of belonging to the same company, with a shared purpose, and answer the question why we exist.
Okay, Nicolas, as the leader for this kind of transformation project, were there any external challenges that you were facing that was triggering this transformation process?
Yes, indeed. In one word, Omnichannel. Basically, we aim to provide our customers the product they want. We deliver, so we don't manufacture anything. We distribute, we deliver product. This is our activity. And so we need to deliver those whatever and however our customers want it. It can be over the counter, it can be by phone, online. Anyhow, we need to be there. And this Omnichannel required kind of a transformation effort throughout the company. And it's basically about taking our web presence to the next level.
And how did this transformation journey begin? What was the moment, the compelling moment?
It all begins with Philippe Delpech joining as Sonepar president in 2017, where actually started to make huge investments in digital and supply chain modernization, as we also saw in the video. He also kind of adjusted a little bit our governance from a very local base to a more balance between global and local on some topics. And there was also an effort to leverage whatever we can do, because as a group, as a company of this size, there are some investments we can make that our local brands cannot make. So the idea was to actually build stuff from the group with a huge capability of investment, and then get the local brands to benefit from it. And the web presence is only one example among us of all leverage stuff we do. But then comes a challenge. Because how you can bring the best partners and the best talent if you're not known? And so this is part of the story, actually. So we created a new brand identity in 2021 with a modernized logo and new message, the purpose last year as well. And of course, logical next step would be the website, because this is kind of a first stop where you don't know a company, you look for the web, and one of those is the corporate website. And so definitely we needed a new corporate website. Why? For that reason.
Okay. Looks a little bit late 80s, right? Or early 90s.
You are a little bit harsh. Let's say early 2000s.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 4 years ago. Okay, 4 years ago, this was our landscape of corporate websites amongst all our brands. And basically, the corporate website, which was in the middle, was kind of lacking group figures, news, something lively. There was a kind of a weak worldwide presence, where then it was quite difficult to understand where Sonepar was present around the world, as well as numerous clicks to get access to the local web shops. And maybe also lacking some brand consistency, maybe. And so let's move at what we have today. So this is the landscape.
So what was your plan to transform these, let's say, inconsistent websites into something which is aligned with the corporate strategy and also with the future plans of Sonepar?
Yeah, that was quite ambitious. But so we need to start with two streams. We created two streams. One stream was the group Omnichannel platform, and the other stream was corporate website. Why? Simply because we do like 30% of our sales, of our revenue online, so that's 11 billion euros. That's a challenge. So we really needed to address those two topics separately because different teams, different budgets, different priorities. And so, like step by step, we needed to align all corporate websites on one end and then align all e-commerce websites on the other end. So that's the way we did actually.
But Sonepar had already at that time a CMS operator or a CMS technology, yeah? So what did you do? So what was the challenge?
The biggest challenge with the older CMS we had was the ability to scale up. There was obviously with this ambition to onboard other countries and brands into our system, and there was some limitation with the previous CMS. At the same time, it was aging, and we needed to revamp everything anyway. So it was a perfect timing to actually rethink the whole thing and select a new solution and a new partner.
So what are your main considerations to drive this initiative into a continuous success?
So I will focus on a couple of one. First is the CMS choice, together with a partner, should fit with the Sonepar ecosystem of information system infrastructure. Then, because the ambition was to get a high adoption rate, then we decided to onboard the US team right from the beginning, okay, in our project. Why the US? Because it's 40% of our revenue worldwide. So this is just simple. If US gets onboarded on our project, it's easier to get the other countries to follow. So that's what we decided to do. We embarked the US from the beginning of the project. Obviously, we needed a modern and scalable architecture. And the last point was about adoption and change management, obviously, which was quite an important topic. We learned from experience and with the last CMS again. So we knew that adoption and change management was really needed to be considered also from the beginning.
And Nicolas, one more question about languages, localization. Was that an issue, a challenge for you and the project?
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. 40 countries were represented with different rules and regulations locally. So we needed a multilingual capability platform, for sure. So let me give you two examples. First, France. France didn't want to have English as a mandatory language, not because they are lazy, maybe a bit. But
we were all French.
Yeah, we're French. That's why I can say that. Yeah. No, it's more because given their audience, French electrician doesn't have to speak English to actually serve the local market, and it applies to pretty much all countries. So they need to have a French-only website. And again, going back to the previous CMS, that was not possible. English was a mandatory language. So then we enabled the fact to have only one local language as a mandatory one. And second example is Canada, where by law it is required to have two languages, French and English. And so we enable the capability to also have more than one, if it's 2, 3, actually as many languages as we want. I think Switzerland is a winner in terms of number of languages which are mandatory. And then going beyond just the language is the brands. So we do have the Sonepar brand, 40% of our revenue. 60% of our revenue is via other local brands. So we needed also to have a design which works for non-Sonepar brands and which is easily adapted. It was not a question of changing the UI or what's been defined before. It was more a question of adapting to the logo and color palettes so that we could onboard non-Sonepar brands as well in our project.
Very interesting. So, and how did you finally decide for CoreMedia?
There was a selection process.
Of course.
Yes. a fair selection process. There was CoreMedia plus 5 competitors in two rounds. And CoreMedia was already the selection chosen by the Digital Factory for the other stream about the Omnichannel platform and e-commerce. So it was a natural fit, but still we needed to assess and to make sure that it was filling our needs. So we need to go that way. The fun fact is that you actually proposed 2 partners. You're the only one to have proposed 2 partners. All competitors, they already selected just 1 partner. You came with 2 partners, EPAM and Publicis Sapient, which is obviously not here. And
that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, no, but I can say that because actually both are Sonepar partners anyway.
Yeah.
So we work with both companies. And at the end of the process, CoreMedia appeared to be a good fit. It was maybe not the most user-friendly CMS in the world to use, to be fair with you, but there was a lot of advantages. I will come back to that in a moment. And of course, we needed a technology alignment. It's hard to come to countries and say, oh, you need to use this CMS for e-commerce and this other CMS for another purpose. Not really what we wanted to do in terms of leverage again. So they won the RFP with EPAM because clearly the proposal was of much higher quality and they clearly understood our needs from the beginning. And so I'm very happy with how the project went. It was a very good implementation, a good success.
One of the rare like this.
Really good one.
Honestly, it was great.
No, Sébastien, but as we are partners in the project, can you tell us a little bit about the role of EPAM in the project, as well as a little bit about the specialities of EPAM as a company?
Thank you very much. So first of all, yes, we were partnering with Sonepar for almost 3 years already. When we started the discussion with Nicolas, actually we came in tandem with CoreMedia. And at that time, CoreMedia was also teaming up with Publicis Sapient, but together, I mean, there was a natural fit on the response that we did. And we are really proud to be, honestly, the partner of the worldwide leader of its business, which is Sonepar. So EPAM, I told you about how we cared about our thousands of our people and their families because of geopolitical situation, and how we are, by proof, reliable and adaptable as any others. But any other, sorry. But by fact, EPAM, the number speaks by themselves, so we are worldwide, 50,000 people. We are probably today.
They are bigger than us, actually.
Yes, we are bigger than Sonepar, that's true. And today we are probably the company that is the less exposed to any political problem in the future, because we have the widest operational diversity in terms of countries among the digital and IT services companies. But what differentiates us, and we actually experienced it with Nicolas and on its project, is that we are on the end-to-end value chain. So we start from the fair beginning by thinking and designing the experience. So at that time, there is absolutely no technology. We are talking about business, we are talking about experience, we are talking about look and feel, we are talking about all of that. Then we are at the same time, the same corporation capable to then transform this vision onto an architecture, technical architecture, and then to make it real, to implement it, after to support it and obviously operate it and optimize it. So we indeed, with a single company like us, we are capable to go all through the value chain. And I guess for this project, it has been honestly a dream. I have made a lot of projects in my career. This one has been particularly smooth, but also because of the relationship that we had together. I mean, we were not shy. We speak out loud. We said the things, and I think it was really the best. We advised, we challenged Sonepar a lot. They challenged us as well a lot, and CoreMedia was always with us to help us to find the best solution. So, but if you need to know more about EPAM, come to me.
Exactly. Yeah, I can also say it was one of the projects where we say we were on time, in budget, and in scope. So that was, and you had a challenging timeline to deliver the project. So kudos to all of them. And one of the secret sauce was really conversations on eye level between implementation partner, customer, and CoreMedia. So that I think is very, very impressive to see. And Nicolas.
I would just add that I mean the clear roles and responsibility as well was key. And we experienced like moving from an execution supplier to a more advisor with EPAM, and it was quite appreciated.
We tried to.
Yeah.
Coming to the reality,
Yeah.
what have you achieved with the CMS project so far?
Yes, we did achieve something, actually. So it's not measurable in terms of euros. We don't manage the return on investment per se, even though our model eliminates some redundancy in terms of cost, because when you leverage a group solution, which, by the way, we provide free of charge to our countries and brands, it eliminates the need for their own local fees in terms of hosting, and of course bringing up securities and all level. But yeah, the main point I think is this graph, which is my favorite one. This is adoption level. 3 was with the previous CMS. 16 is where we are today. 16 onboarded countries and brand, and it's continuing actually. So now it's about managing the load, obviously, but it's going very well.
This year to reach which level?
It's like 4. I think.
Okay, 4 more.
But so then, yeah, that's how it works. And obviously, the other success is it increased the brand consistency at the end of the day, as we saw in the previous slide.
And what comes next? What is the vision of Sonepar with the digital initiative that you drive?
First, I will briefly mention the keys to success. I think 4, quickly. Local business implication, I mentioned the US, it was key to actually involve the local needs from the beginning. We also learned a lot from the previous CMS. We did some research and so on to understand the pain points and anything that could allow us a better adoption rate.
And you have to understand that US is the biggest market of Sonepar. It's a state in the state. So if you have US, you can go through.
Exactly. Then adoption, of course. It was very important to make sure that the adoption of CoreMedia was going well. So we created some dedicated materials, training, showcase website to really make sure that when they join, our site owners are actually embarked and they are supported with a lot of stuff. Then we obviously benefit from the trusted advisory of EPAM alongside the project. They're very nimble and very eager to propose solutions. And yes, as you say, challenging sometimes our need. So very, very, very helpful. And stability with CoreMedia. It's been 20 months now without any front-end outage. And we use the front-end part of CoreMedia.
Yeah, very impressive. Yeah. That's what I promised you. Yeah.
We were not that sure at that time, but he delivered.
Okay, and next about the vision?
Exactly.
I would say, 2 points here. First is as in one single CoreMedia instance. Obviously, we say we had 2 streams. We had to start with 2 streams. It was necessary. Now I think it makes sense from a user standpoint and also the seamless experience, customer experience, to have all type of content in the same instance, published by the same person in the same site. So that's probably something we will be working on moving forward. And then 100% is basically the adoption rate we aim. Like any countries or brand willing to manage their web presence, we need to leverage one of the group solutions which is available.
Very impressive. Many thanks for these insights. I think if you want to hear more, both of them are around for the afternoon, and I'm happy for sessions. But Søren, you want to raise a question or ask a question?
This is impressive, right? Basically, this centralizing something and getting the adoption right means that you have to somehow take into account that they want to have some local flexibility. How did you manage that? The balance between the local decision-making and the centralized aspects?
So we wanted to standardize stuff, obviously, because we couldn't manage to do each and every single request from local. So, but what we started to do is I think the research was really the key part, because we did some interviews of our users using the previous CMS, hearing from them about the pain points, but also users of the CMS, like users of other CMS that we wanted to target. And we heard from them about their own pain points and what would make a new CMS work well for them. And that's how we actually structure our needs, design, and backlog.
Actually, what you say is key. It's about adoption. That's the key word. And in every project like this, it's adoption. So it's a generic word, but it is what it is exactly this. Going to every single country that or even opcos, because in some countries you have several opcos, and being able to at the same time convince them to embrace a corporate solution while giving them the ability to still have a little bit of specifics, but not too much, and letting them understand it. So that's why it is very important to have a very strong part of adoption and to control that very, very effectively. That's the secret.
Impressive.
I must confess that the free of charge part has also helped.
Maybe last final remark from my side. So one of the also key elements is that Nicolas has really decent know-how on CMSs, and he runs his own blueprint. He has a blueprint, CoreMedia, that he can show every organization in the world of Sonepar and showing them this is what you can achieve. And you also run, I think, a news section where you put all the latest.
I use the Showcase website to actually.
So that is the way, showcasing what we have. So it's a little bit the adoption of that, what our great pre-sales team is doing, and they are using that internally. Yeah. Thank you very much. We're a little bit over time, but thank you very much.